y'all, welcome to a special edition of Criminally Creative. This video will be all about what I have been jokingly calling my senior tour. I attended Queen City Stitch Retreat, Stitch New England, and then SAFF, Southeastern Animal Fiber Fair, over the past 3 weekends, and I have a lot of stuff to show. I wanted to tell you a little bit about each event. There have been a lot of recaps already done, particularly of Queen City, Stitch Retreat, and Stitch New England. So I am probably not going to go into as much detail as some of those, but I will also probably link some of those below, particularly some of them who did a much better job than I did of doing things like brag tables and walking around and meeting everybody and that sort of stuff. I'm really bad. It's a good and a bad. I forget to take pictures, which is bad for the memories, but is good for the fact that I'm enjoying what I'm doing, so I'm not thinking about taking the pictures. I did a little better at Stitch New England about taking pictures with people, but so we'll see. Anyway, I just thought I'd tell you a little bit about each event, and I will try to put some timestamps below so that if you're not interested in one event and want to skip to the next event, you can. And it's probably not going to be separated enough that I can separate like haul from talking about the event, because a lot of it is gifts that I got, and then I'll show you whatever purchases and stuff. But if there is a clear line that I can draw, I'll timestamp that. So like, for example, if you're not interested in seeing what I purchased, but you just want to hear about the event, you can skip that, hopefully. Anyway, so first up is Queen City Stitch Retreat, which was Thursday, October 5th through Saturday, October 7th. That was held in Charlotte, North Carolina, and hosted by Amy, Fiber Arts Amy, and Maggie, who is Kitschy Whips. I will link their, they both have a YouTube channel, which I will link below, and I will try to remember to link all of the YouTubers that I talk about. There were a lot of Flosstubers there, some of which I met, some of which I did not, at both of these events. So if I mention somebody that I forget to link, please let me know. Also, if you're a Flosstuber and I don't mention you, but there's a picture of you or something like that, and you want me to link you, let me know. I'll be glad to do that. So anyway, so Queen City started Thursday afternoon. We were greeted by Large Marge in the lobby of the Stitchy area. If you don't watch Kitschy Whips, Large Marge is a version of Spring Queen that was done on very large, probably like 10 count Ada, so she's very large. But anyway, and everybody went in and found their tables, or you're not assigned seats, you pick your own table. But I had brought my Gus's Custom Creations floor stand at Amy's request, just so people could see it since I was local. So I kind of got over in the back corner where I had room to set that up behind me where people could look at it, but I could keep an eye on it. So, and be available to answer any questions and stuff. Anyway, so my table mates were my friend Ann, who is Ann Craft All the Things, Janet Jabber, who I had not met before, but definitely enjoyed meeting her. Stitches, Janet Jabber's obviously Janet. Jessica, who is Stitches of Sass. Sally, who I do not believe has Flosstube unless I've totally blanked on it. And Debbie, who is Stitchin' Owl and Gator, I think. I will definitely link her below. I'm not, there's an owl and there's a gator in there because she's from Florida, but I'm not sure I have the order of those words right. Anyway, so we had a great table. We had a lot of fun. It was great getting to know all of them, and really good to spend some time with Ann, as a friend of mine that I met in the knitting community years ago, and it had been a while since I had seen her, so we had a really good time. As we found our seats at a table, I'm going to just kind of talk as I go and show stuff. We had, sitting at our table, we had a packet that had a schedule of events, and also had some information about Nora Corbett. It had stuff that was close by, food and things like that. Also had a couple of the free patterns that are available on, I believe, the Mirabilia website printed out for us. Also at our table was the retreat pattern. I think I can find, I will put a picture here of what it will look like finished, because I can't really show you the pattern. Maggie and Amy had already done the pattern, so there's a couple, they had models there. Nora had drawn it, and I believe Stitchy Pros, I can't think of her real name, I've got it here somewhere. One of the attendees, who is also a designer, had charted the pattern for us. So anyway, so that was sitting at our seat. We also got had a Queen City Stitch Retreat bag sitting at our chair, and in that bag were a Krynic metallic thread chart. It has all the Krynic, and it had a Krynic, that's the one I got. I don't think they were all the same. In that same pack, no, not that package. Packaged together was a thing of mix of glass seed beads from Witchelt, as well as some, they call them postcards. These to me look like the pictures that they put on the front of the patterns. So it's just, I think, like 6 of them. One of them is Touching the Autumn Sky, which is my other unicorn that I don't have yet. So there's 8 of them. I won't go through them all. There's some people, other Flosstubers who have done that already. And then also in that bag was a cute little Notions patch with some Notions bag. That's the word I'm looking for, with Queen City fabric. And they told us who made these, but I don't remember. I'm sorry. And inside of that was the silk and the Krynic for the stitch the exclusive pattern for the retreat, as well as 2 more Krynics, but those were not for the pattern. I think those were just in the thing. And then we got all the beads needed for the retreat pattern, and a needle, which is not a needle designed to stitch, but the pattern has a place where you can put a real needle in it if you want. Also got a Queen City Stitch Retreat needle minder. Golly, I can't come with the words this morning. And a waxer. So all that was in that little bag, which was nice. I forgot to show you also at Queen City was this tumbler that says Queen City Stitch Retreat on it. Has a very sparkly straw. I have never seen a sparkly straw, but that's very on brand for Maggie Kitschy Whips. Somebody gave me this little straw topper, which was cute. And honestly, I've never put stickers on these things, but I started that weekend. So these are stickers various stickers that people gave me during the weekend. So that was sitting over somewhere else because I had actually been using it and I forgot to show it to you. So Thursday, it was all just, kind of hang out, meet everybody, stitch, all that stuff. Everybody also got like 6, I think, raffle tickets was stapled in your thing. They had a ton of raffle prizes that were quite a few of them were unicorns, and then some of like Lady of the Flag, Queen of Freedom, Touching the Autumn Sky. There was a whole set of the Sleigh and Reindeer, a whole set of the like months patterns. I didn't win any of them. I spent a decent amount of money on raffle tickets, but I didn't win any of them. But that's okay. All the money went. We raised over $5,000 in raffle sales, which went to support a local animal shelter in the Charlotte area. So that was wonderful. The brag table was fabulous. I did not do a good job of taking a picture of it. I took a couple individual pictures of patterns I wanted to remember. But I'm going to link you below to Memphis Sarah E's recap of the Queen City event, because she did a video of the entire brag table. There were some people had brought several patterns that they had done that weren't framed, that were just on the fabric, and they were laid in stacks, and Sarah actually flipped through every single one of those stacks and got video of every single project that was on the brag table. So I'm going to link you below to Sarah's video, because she did a much better job than I did of memorializing the brag table. They also had a ton of giveaways, enough that everybody, there was like about 150 people, 145, 150. Everybody got at least one giveaway, you know, and then there were a few extras. A couple people got extra. There were a couple that were like, baby patterns. So, you know, Maggie went around, who's expecting a granddaughter? Or there were some of the ones that were like the month ones, and they were like, you know, whose birthday's in November or whatever. So, I did not win a pattern. I won a $25 gift certificate to 123 Stitch, which I have already spent. And overall, it was just great. So Friday, you know, other than the specific Nora events, it was, you know, it was a sit around stitch, meet people, talk, share what you're working on. Friday, we had a meet and greet with Nora. We did that by table, you know, so each table was called to go out and was able to meet Nora. And I will put a picture in here of my table's photo with her. We were allowed to have her sign 2 items. I couldn't decide on my regular patterns, you know, what I would want to keep forever to sign. So I had her sign, so the meet and greet was on Friday the 6th, which was my actual birthday. So I had her sign my retreat pattern, and sorry, I'm looking for something to hide most of the pattern. I think this pattern eventually is probably going to be available somewhere free, but I'm not sure. So I had her sign mine, just says happy birthday Susan, Nora Corbett. And then I also, somebody had given me one of these. I had not thought of these, but somebody had given me a Queen City Stitch Retreat, you know, like an adhesive label to put on the back of a framed item. So I had her sign that. So I figured when I do this retreat pattern, which I have not started yet, when I have it framed, I will, or maybe I'm, you know, either this one or some other pattern that I'm doing of hers, I will put this on the back of the frame. So, and let's see. So Friday was the Nora Quarter meet and greet. I think that was most of Friday. One of the days they had somebody there doing chair massages, and honestly, I can't remember if it was Friday or Saturday. They also one day had a photo booth set up. Again, can't remember if it was Friday or Saturday. Actually, it was Saturday. I can tell by looking at these pictures. I will put closer up pictures of these, but we did some pictures with our table. They were fun. You could get, and I've got these digitally, so I'll put better copies in the video here. But that was fun. And then Saturday was like a Q&A with Nora. It wasn't really us asking questions from the audience. It was more Maggie and Amy had kind of gathered some questions ahead of time. There were a couple people that did ask some questions off the cuff, but Maggie was mostly asking the questions that she had gathered, and it was really interesting. Nora was very open and willing to talk about her process, and she shared some of her life with us. Quite honestly, I was not a Nora Corbett fan before I went. I'm just not all about the memorabilia. When I tried to sign up for the retreat, it was before I had started attending barefoot retreats, and I just thought, hey, the retreat's in Charlotte, it's a local retreat, and I like some memorabilias, you know, so why not? One, after looking at the brag table, there's a lot more memorabilias or Nora Corbett's that I want to do now. But Nora was just genuinely, I think, honestly, I felt like she was genuinely surprised at how many people just really love her work. So she had brought one of her sketchbooks that we could flip through and look, and just to see like her sketches before they became, you know, the actual patterns and stuff. She talked a little bit about her process. But it was really interesting to hear all that. So other than that, the other thing officially event, we did do a notions exchange, and this is the one that I got. Of course, I picked it because, you know, it had a literary quote on it, Oscar Wilde. And I don't remember, I'm sorry, I got to put my glasses on. I don't remember, I think it's in here somewhere who gave it to me. Oh yeah, there's a card. Couldn't remember, I don't remember the name off the top of my head. Stephanie, who is Steph Crafty Chick. She was at the Colorado table, table 11, who was singing all the time. They were having a good time. They, I guess every time one of them walked back in the room, they sang, Here She Comes, just a walking down the street, whatever that song is called. Anyway, so in the bag, I got, some black needle stitching challenge deck, which will be interesting. Some really cute buttons with bobbins and scissors. A couple of waxers, some more cards to go like on the back of your work. And I haven't looked to see, I think they're all the same picture, but I have not looked to check, to be honest. And a needle case that's magnet inside to put needles in. So that was fun. It was interesting to do a notions exchange instead of you know, a smalls like normal, which was great because I didn't have to find time to stitch anything. I never did figure out who got mine. I had put a card in there, so if by any chance you are the one that got mine, let me know. I never quite figured that out. So other than that, there were a lot of people walking around, you know, giving things out, and doing, I had done table gifts for my table mates. I had made project bags, which I neglected to take a picture of full on. I have a picture of all the bags I made in the couple weeks before the events. Some for me, some for table gifts, and I'll put a picture of that in here. But I neglected to take a picture of the full on bag. I made basically the same bag for everybody except Anne. Anne got a dragonfly bag because she, like me, loves dragonflies. But everybody else got a project bag that was made with some kind of steampunk bird sewing fabric. I don't know how to describe it. I've got some scraps over there, but it's not that big a deal. And then other people walk around, you know, giving gifts. I had, I know I've got one over here buried. I had showed you previously, sorry, my floss cards that I was giving out. So I had made up packages of like 5 of those that I gave out. And so some of these gifts, I know who gave them to me. Others were like something somebody gave me as I was walking around, and they didn't have a name attached. Like this first one is a hand crocheted and stiffened snowflake that somebody gave me as I was walking around. I didn't get their name. I apologize. I picked a green one because I have some white ones that I've had for years for my Christmas tree, and so I wanted the green one because I wanted to be able to distinguish it from the ones I already had. Floss drops, I don't remember who gave me these, but this was neat. She had taken old maid cards, and I'm using a couple of these already in a project I started that weekend because I was short a couple. But I really like, I don't know if you can see that the hole has jagged edges. I'm not sure what that punch is, but like I said, I started using them, and I really kind of like it because it makes it easy to get I can't describe, but I like the way it holds the floss on there. Those little jagged edges kind of keep it separate. And I don't remember who gave me those. From Cross by Floss, I got a little bag that has a zipper pull. It has a tube that has one of the little mascara brushes, and it has a nail file. Susan Schaefer from Colorado, needle minder. Pretty flowers on it. My friend Anne gave me a zipper pull with a dragonfly on it. She also gave me another little mascara wand, but that is in my little kit bag. I didn't think to pull that out. Janet Jabber made, this is a ring, and you pull off this little piece of plastic and it's sticky underneath, so you can wear the ring when you're like beading. and put some beads on there. So I have to give that a try. Stitchy Pros had various needle minders. That is, I think, supposed to be some kind of Disney hat. I think it looks like a tongue, which is why I picked it. So I like that. Memphis Sarah E had made scissor fobs for everybody that say 2023, and they were purple. And you will see if you watch the Stitch New England one, she made scissor fobs for everybody there too, in different colors. She's, don't know where she found the time. A ring with a bling and floss cards from Stitchin' Shorty on Instagram. So I don't know that she has a floss tube. Stitching in High Heels gave a little bulb pin with a crown in 2023. Jessica Stitches of Sass at My Table gave us needle minders. Can't read without my glasses, sorry. One says chill pills, take one capsule as needed to chill. Stitching because adulting is hard. And I'm not a craft hoarder, I'm the curator of an extensive craft supply collection. And then, oops, Jessica had, there was somebody who wasn't able, oops, here's one more before I get to that. This one is adorable, and I don't remember who gave it to me. It is a little, it's like a fish in a plastic bag like you'd get from the store, and it's a needle minder. It's got the needle on the back of it. It's adorable. Somebody who was not able to attend had given, I think her name is Mary Ann, but I don't, anyway, Jessica from Stitches of, I think it was Jessica that had all this. She sent the things she had made to give away anyway. And so one of it is a little, scissor or bag decoration that's a little angel. And then you had an option to get a bag that also had a enamel pin on it that says Bad Bitch Club. And of course I went, I wanted the Bad Bitch Club. These were our badges that they said Queen City Stitch Retreat, had our name. If we had a floss tube or Instagram, had that on there. Also, oh, I'm about to forget something. Kelly from Pages and Stitches gave me a project bag. Has a really pretty pull on it, and inside has a needle minder that she bought from Flower Town Originals. Isn't that pretty? I'm gonna have to check her out. This is Kelly's Pages and Stitches. I will also link a video, her video recap below, because she actually went around and talked to everybody at every table that was at she didn't talk to me because I wasn't at my table when she got to my table. So I'm giving her a hard time, but she went around to each table and talked to like everybody who was at the table, and like, where are you from and what are you working on? And yeah, so I don't think she got any stitching done because she was talking to everybody, but that's the way retreats are. And then there were a couple of vendors there. Sheba Designs, who does bags, she had done a special bag that you could pre-order for the retreat, which I did not pre-order. They were beautiful. They just weren't, the fabric wasn't my taste. But I bought plenty of bags from her. If you have watched my regular video, episode 49, which was right before this, you will see 3 of the bags that I bought from her. And I bought one more from her that I do not show in that video. And that was this Christmas bag with the panels. And part of what I really liked about it is she kind of stitched in the ditch around each panel. So it set it off. So got that Christmas bag from her. And then Grace Notes Fabrics, was there as a vendor. And they had a lot of fabric. They had a lot of Mirabilia, Nor Corbett patterns. They had some Karen, the water lilies. I think they had some beads. They had needle minders. They had a few of it. They were basically set up to supply for Mirabillas, and they had fabric, and they had a few other things. Had a lot of fabric. So if you've watched my previous episode, you saw that I changed my fabric for Sleeping Princess by purchasing fabric there. What I purchased was a fat half, so this is the other half of that, which is a 28 count even weave in the Barbie colorway. I also purchased from them a fat half. Sorry, something fell over here, and I don't know what it was. I think it was a charging cord. A fat half of linen, 40 count linen in the Molly colorway. I purchased this for a pattern called 272 Words that I'm getting ready to start sometime. And then she gave me a needle minder, I think, with the purchase. And then also, she was going around the last day and giving everybody a little ornament cut of fabric, which was really nice. So I will do something small on that. So that is about it for Queen City. Like I said, I'm sure that there are people who have done a lot more detail than I have just done. Although, looking at my time, it looks like I've already talked 25 minutes. So this is going to be a long one, y'all. Anyway, that will be it for Queen City, and we'll move on to the next one. So I came home from Queen City on Sunday, the 8th of October. I had a couple of days at home, Monday and Tuesday, and then on Wednesday, the 11th, I started the drive up to Mansfield / Foxborough, Massachusetts. Stitch New England was hosted by Pam and Kevin Dumont, who are the owners of Stitch New England, which is a store in North Attleboro, Massachusetts. It is about an 11-hour drive for me, so I did it in 2 days. So left Wednesday morning, had planned a couple of stops on the way up. Actually ended up only making one just because of timing and traffic, but I did stop at In Stitches in Arlington, Virginia, and spend a little time there. So I'll show you, before I get on to the actual event, I will show you what I bought there. This was kind of a hodgepodge of things. I found this pattern by Art for Offerings piece. So I also bought the floss for that. I bought flosses that I need for the 272 words pattern that I'm going to start. 272 words is the Gettysburg Address. And I got some fabric for a couple of other patterns I'm planning to start. This is 32 count Belfast flax that I got to do Santa's portraits. These look they're going to look very similar in the camera, but they're slightly different in person. This is 32 count Belfast platinum that I got to do the Prairie Schooler Woodland Santas. So very similar, but one's a little bit darker and more homespun looking than the other. And then I picked up this Shepherd's Bush kit called You Better Not Pout. And it has the natural linen and the finishing things and the floss. It has the fabric to finish it as a pillow. I don't know if I'll finish it as a pillow or what. And then I also picked up another Mill Hill Buttons and Beads called Spooky Scary. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, that something in that is glow in the dark. I'm not sure if it's beads or fabrics. I could be wrong. But anyway, I just thought it was cute. So, and then also I picked up another pattern that I want to start soon. Is called Double Dutch Sampler. and they had the 2 Gloriana flosses that I needed. There's a blue that I think I may have already showed you in a previous video that goes with this. So these were the 3 colors of it. Gloriana is very hard to find right now, so I was very excited that they had very little Gloriana, but they had 2 skeins of both of the colors I needed, which was great. So that was my visit to In Stitches. I left there about 3 o'clock, which is their closing time. The plan was to stop at another store around the Baltimore area that was supposed to be up until 5:30, and, you know, according to maps, was only about an hour away. But, you know, there's DC traffic. Excuse me. So by the time I got there, it was right at 5 o'clock, and I thought about calling ahead and making sure they were going to be up until 5:30, but it really wasn't that far out of the way that I was going, so I just figured they weren't. Got there at 5, and they were not open, so I was not able to visit them. So from there, I drove up, and I stopped in Delaware overnight for the night. Got there, you know, at a decent hour. Went out and had a nice dinner, you know, and just relaxed. And then Thursday morning, got up at a decent hour and hit the road again. Actually was not too bad going through New York on the way up there. Ended up getting, I'm not an early morning person, so it was probably 10 o'clock before I hit the road Thursday morning, and then with pit stops, I ended up getting there about 4:30, I think. 4 or 4:30. I was staying at the Hampton Inn, which was about a mile away from the venue, because by the time I decided to actually attend the retreat, the venue hotel was full. So I got checked into my hotel, you know, went up to my room and everything, and then I did go over to the venue hotel. The proper event did not start till Friday, but they had a couple of rooms off the lobby, and there were people. The lobby was huge, so there were people sitting around stitching. So I just went over there to see who was, you know, who I saw. Met Pam in person finally, and then ran into Luann and Lisa and Helen. I think Helen, I hope I have your name right, that I had met last year at StitchCon in 2022. And hung out and sat around and talked with them for a while, but then I was just tired from driving, so I left and went and found some dinner, and went back to my hotel room and just relaxed for the night. So Friday morning, the event started at, I think, 8 a.m., 9 a.m. I think it started at 8, but I wasn't there till like 9 or 9:30. Anyway, this event was larger. It was set for up to 300 people. Of course, they had some last minute cancellations, so I think I heard there was like 285-ish or so there. So big ballroom, lots of tables. One thing that they did that I thought was excellent is they had put balloons at every table before the event opened, and once your table was full, you removed the balloon and moved it over to a table on the side. So like, I didn't get there till 9:30. When I walked in, every table that I saw that had a balloon meant they had at least one seat available, which I thought was great. You didn't have to go around going, is anybody sitting here? Is anybody sitting here? Are you saving this? You know. So I found a table, people I didn't know, but it was great. I walked over, and there were Kristen and Tabitha were already at the table, so I joined them. And then later we were joined by Jen and Nessie and Mary. And we had a great group. Interestingly, 3 of them were from New York, but didn't know each other ahead of time. Tabitha, Nessie, and Jen were all from New York. Kristen and Mary were both kind of from the general area where Stitch New England is, and then I was from North Carolina. But Kristen, unfortunately, was only there on Friday. She wasn't able to come on Saturday. But we had a really good time. This was just a kind of stitch retreat. There was kind of an annex set up with some trunk shows and fabric and stuff. I'll show you. I bought a lot that weekend. Some at the annex, some at the Stitch New England store. But otherwise, it was kind of sit around stitch. They did do a smalls exchange. I did not participate in that. I had planned to originally, but I just didn't have time to get my act together and get something stitched and get a thing done. So I enjoyed looking at everybody else's, but I didn't do that. And I think I mentioned they did have some raffle baskets. I bought some tickets for that. That was also a charitable fundraiser for One Umbrella, I think was the name of it. It was a local organization that does some stuff with children, I think, in food insecurity and things like that. there's something, I have some information on it in my thing, but I don't remember. And they also had a silent auction for a Lady of the copy of the Lady of the Flag pattern with embellishments, fabric, and floss. Because I had already won that at another auction previously, I did not bid on that, but that I thought they did something that worked really well too with that. Apparently, at the end of the time, there were two people that were just kind of going back and forth and outbidding each other. So what they did is they stopped it at the time and told those two people to put their highest bid sealed in an envelope. And then when they did the other raffles, they opened those, and whoever had bid highest won it. So I thought that was a good way to resolve the like back and forth, you know, and who gets the last one in before the time goes off or whatever. And I think it ended up going for about $500, which was a great, you know, contribution to the charity. So anyway, so Friday, hung out, walked around and gave out my floss cards, went and shopped in the annex, came back to my table a little after lunchtime, and most of the table had gone out to eat in the lobby, which I didn't realize at the time, which was fine. They didn't like abandon me or anything. I had been gone from the table for a couple hours, and they decided to go eat lunch. So I decided I'd go ahead and go drive over to Stitch New England, the shop, and went over there and shopped a bit, and then went and hit another an old mill that was like a fabric yarn store. Didn't buy any yarn there because most of the yarn was like Barocco and stuff, which is perfectly fine yarn, but when I'm travel shopping for yarn, I'm generally looking for stuff that is like local dyers I can't get at home or things I've never seen before. So I did buy a few pieces of fabric there. Actually, I'll go ahead and show you that while we're here. Just some fabric for project bags. I keep starting on these projects, I need project bags, but I also, a lot of my fabric that I buy for project bags is themed like holidays or something, and so I'm trying to get a few just pretty bags that I can use for things that don't fit themes. So I got kind of fall flowers, metallic, and this is basically the same fabric but in green. I couldn't decide between the green and the burgundy. And then a really cute Halloween with like hedgehogs and skeletons, and I don't know, it was just cute. So I picked up those at that, and that was like the old Franklin Mill, I think. I might have to find somewhere to toss this stuff as I go because there's too much of it. Yeah, so, and then Friday, you know, stitched late, hung out, went back to the hotel, got a little sleep, came back Saturday morning. I didn't get there Saturday till probably like 10 or 10:30. I'm not a morning person. Stitched most of the time, and then me and, like I said, Kristen wasn't there on Saturday, so me and three of my table mates decided we wanted to go to lunch, and one of them, or two of them, did not have cars. I don't know. Anyway, so I said, you know, when we get lunch, there was a place near the shop that we'd heard good things about. So we went and had lunch there, and we went again to the shop, and I bought more. Came back and stitched some more. Saturday night they did, I forgot to mention Friday night they did have dinner at the hotel for us Friday night, which was an Italian, that was pretty good. You know, it's buffet and it's 300 people, so it wasn't like the best Italian I ever had, but it was good, and it was a decent meal. So but anyway, so Saturday after lunch, and we went to the shop, and then we took a side trip and because we were driving back, and I was like, I wonder if there's a good ice cream place. And Tabitha, who was in the back seat, was Googling, and she's like, oh, there's one like a mile from here. So we went to this place called Frisbee's, which is apparently a smallish local chain in the New England area, but this location had just opened up, because when I mentioned it to Pam later, she knew it had opened, but she had not been there. And it was homemade, you know, like they make their own ice cream. It was really good. So we had ice cream. Saturday I had pumpkin cheesecake and black raspberry chip. So that was really good. And then, you know, Saturday night again, stitched late, packed all our stuff up. The event was officially over Saturday. Went back to the hotel. Sunday, Pam had the store open from, I think, like 10 to 1 or something like that, and I wanted ice cream for lunch because as I was leaving, I realized that they had 2 flavors that were special flavors on a board that I had not seen, which was salted caramel pecan and banana chip, and I had to have both of those. So Sunday morning, you know, I took my time, got up, had some breakfast, packed all my stuff up, stopped and filled up the car with gas. Oh, and also Saturday night, I got talking to Pam, and I don't know how we got on the subject, but the subject of peanuts and Coke came up, which she had never heard of. So, of course, I had to introduce her to the joys of peanuts and Coke. So when I stopped at the convenience store, I got a pack of, you know, like, we down here prefer Lance, but I got Planters peanuts, and they had Mexican Coke in a bottle because it's really best done in the glass bottle because the neck is the right shape to get it, the proportions right. You can do it in a plastic bottle, but it's not as good as a glass bottle. So they had Mexican Coke in a glass bottle, so I bought that and took that. And then I was sitting outside the ice cream store waiting when they opened at noon. So I got ice cream, and I had queried Pam on her preferred flavor the night before, and took her some ice cream and peanuts and Coke, and went to the store and bought a little bit more, and just said bye to her before I hit the road. So I hit the road probably about 12:30, and was planning to drive basically at least until, you know, after dinner time. I got tired, and I was hoping to get at least just south of DC, but going through New York on the way back took about 2 hours longer than it did on the way up. I don't know what the difference was between Thursday at lunchtime and Sunday at mid-afternoon, but it took a lot longer to get through New York. I did stop. My first pit stop was at a state park in New York, so I got to see a little bit of Long Island Sound, and I'll put some pictures, a couple of pictures I took in there. I didn't know what I was looking at, but there was a very nice gentleman sitting on a bench, and I'm not shy, so I just kind of walked over and said, "Can you tell me what I'm looking at?" So we had a nice little chat. And anyway, but about 8 o'clock or so, I had stopped at a service place on the New Jersey Turnpike and to, you know, use the bathroom. Excuse me. And realized I wasn't going to make it south of DC, so I pulled up my hotel app and realized that the hotel I'd stayed at in Delaware on the way up was about an hour from where I was then. So I went ahead and made a reservation there, and that's where I stopped for the night. So Monday morning, got up and left about 9:30, and mostly drove straight home. You know, stopped and ate a little bit of lunch, a couple of pit stops, and got home. I think I ended up getting home really about 4:30, 5 o'clock. I don't remember exactly. Maybe 3. I don't know. I think it was like 5. Because of course, you know, you got to go around DC and all that stuff. So the drive home took a lot longer than the drive up. But overall, I made it home Monday afternoon. And then I had to start getting ready because I was leaving again Wednesday for SAFF. But let me show you everything that I bought at either the Annex or Stitch New England. Actually, before I show you what I bought, I need to show you like the gifts and stuff. This bag was at our, I think it was at our seat 2023 Stitch New England retreat. And inside that bag were a couple of things. We got a sticker that said Wicked Awesome Stitching Weekend. A scissor fob that was made by Tracy from OG Stitchery. She was on the committee for the retreat. Can't imagine she made 300 of these things. We got a little notebook with a pen, which was funny because I had not really even looked in my bag that much, and I stole somebody else's pen off their table while they were gone. Excuse me, for just a minute to write something, and then I forgot to give it back to them. And when I realized, like 3 hours later, when they were back at their table, and I got, she's like, "I was wondering where that went." And then I pulled out this and realized that I had a pen all along, even though I hadn't realized it. Also in there was a little bag that had a free pattern from Helen Daly that to make a little pouch for the corner gauge that is also in here. So we got the corner gauge, got the pattern, and then we got Ada fabric and the floss and a needle. So you could do that. Again, I didn't pay enough attention to what was in my bag. I didn't even realize that was in there till like midday Saturday. A lot of people were stitching. I was like, oh, that's cute. They're like, it's in your bag. I just went in and got to doing stuff. Also in our bag, Helen also gave us another free pattern called Mushroom Mayhem. I'm not really about the mushrooms, but I love that little skunk. So, and she designed it so you could do it as either a berry or a stand-up. And I believe that eventually that, if not already, eventually that's going to be on Cobweb Corner's website. Excuse me. We got a welcome packet that had a lot of information about stuff that was local. It also had a list of all the attendees, which is nice, and just where they're from. Had a schedule, had some information about Our Open Umbrella was the charity, and what it does. I had also pre-ordered I put stuff on top of this like an idiot. Darcy. Sorry, my cat has decided that scratching on the bag is fun. I will stop for just a second. Anyway, I pre-ordered a t-shirt, which I picked up there. And then freebie table. hold on one second. I got one thing off of the freebie table. This is it's a cross-stitch pattern of a pen and ink drawing of the U.S. Capitol. I had actually looked at this pattern at In Stitches in Arlington, Virginia on my way up, and decided I wasn't sure I would ever do it just because it's nothing but basically black and white and gray. But it was on the freebie table, so I decided what the heck. I don't know if I will do it or not, but you know, I love it. I have a thing about Capitol buildings. So, and then of course, as usual, there were a lot of freebies that people were walking around and giving each other. I got a little bottle of mints in it from Linda Kennison. Stacy Clark, who is the owner of Thread the Needle Stitchery. She used to be Stacy's Creative Stitches. I think she is rebranded. Gave out this pretty needle minder, and it has a really pretty back on it too. Needle minder, oh, come here. Needle minder from Snickerdoodle Stitch. Those are name tags. I got a counting pen. I don't know who that was from. Somebody had made all these little needle books. I got a Star Wars one. I'm not sure. Kindred Spirits are not so scarce as I used to think. Anne Shirley. I don't know who that card was from. Oh, Tam Stitches on Instagram, and there's some Zots in there. All these needle minders are sticking together. My Nessie at my table gave me a Hobby House Needleworks. Her local L&S is Hobby House Needleworks. Lucky her. The 805 Stitcher, some floss drops, a cute little koala needle minder. This, I don't know if this was in our bag or somebody else made it up. It says 2023 Stitch Retreat. That might have been in our bag, and I got it mixed up. Some floss drops from Count Twice, Stitch Once. Some stickers and like a bag fob or some charms from Crazy Band Lady Stitches. I got some floss drops from Carol Fawcett. And some floss drops from, it doesn't say. I remember her coming around and putting those on the table, but I don't remember. Oh, I got another counting pen that's in I was using it, and that's the card it was on, and I couldn't find it, so it's now in my little kit thing because I couldn't find the card to put it back on. Another floss drop from Memphis Sarah E. That she made for these. I love that. Love that. Homesteading on the home front, floss drop. Somehow I ended up with 2 things from Memphis E that has a different one on it. I think she gave me one and then she must have left one on the table for me, not realizing it was me again. A waxer that somebody was making. Somebody made little needle books. I like these little needle books, they're handy. Somebody was giving out these little frogs that says, "Hi, I am a friendly frog who wants to live with you. I will keep the nasty frog away from your stitching. I don't eat very much and dislike flies. Please give me a name." So I have not given him a name yet, but somebody made these beautiful Donna McClellan made these. The paper stars. It says Happy Stitching 2023. So I got that. Fairy Tales and French Knots. Oh, I love how she did the kind of books on the back. Steph W. Loves to Stitch. These are floss cards, but also project cards that say the designer, fabric, and stuff. Melissa Kruger. Oh, Geeky Witch. Yeah, watch her. Brandy Farnsworth from B&E Stitchery. She was telling me she's coming down to North Carolina for work into Asheville area soon and was going to go to Biltmore. I knew I had some more here. I don't remember. These are Stitch New England mini project cards. I think one of the committee members came around handing those out. I think those were kind of from the event, like the event people. So anyway, so that's all the gifts and stuff. And now I'll reorganize and show you all the haul that I purchased. Okay, I'm surrounded by purchases here. This may not be an exact organization, but anyway, so a couple things that I, excuse me, that I purchased at the annex that was at the venue. They had some Stitch New England tumblers, so I got one of those. I got a little tomato that was made by Pam's daughter, little crocheted tomato. I bought it says it's a necklace and it does have a chain, but I got it to be, there's also a little ring in here, so I'll turn it into a floss bling that I just thought was cute. Whoops, except I'm gonna lose the ring. Get that later. I bought a little pack of stickers that had little creatures, monkeys on it. And then I got, let's see, that was from the store. I think these were all, yeah, these were all from the annex. So they had a Stitches by Ethel trunk show. So I got Freedom. They had a trunk show from Summer House Stitch Works. I got Delft Blues. And they had Sweet Wing Studio, and I got Free Birds. Then also in the annex, they had a lot of Atomic Ranch fabric. There were a few other, I think there were a couple other dyers. Apparently, I heard, and I have not verified this, I heard that there was a dyer that was supposed to send a trunk show and apparently just didn't. I won't say the name because I don't know that my information is accurate, so I don't want to slam them. But if that's the case, that's just wrong. No saying sorry I can't do it, just apparently just didn't. Anyway, 3 pieces that I got just because. Atomic Ranch Tea Rose and 32 count Lagana. I was looking at this and I decided not to, and then my table mate Tabitha was looking at it and she decided to, and it was a fat half, so she had it cut in half so she'd get a fat quarter, and I decided just to buy the other fat quarter. Atomic Ranch 40 count linen in seafoam. I just really like the piece of this. I mean, the color of this. You're probably not going to be able to see it, but it does have some hints of green in it. That my camera's just not going to show. This one is totally outside of my normal wheelhouse, but for some reason, this is Atomic Ranch 40 count linen in service, which is, you know, very military olive green, which is not my color, but for some reason I just really loved it, and I figure I will probably do something very fall-like on that, or my son's in the Army, maybe I'll find something. I bought a full yard of Atomic Ranch vanilla cream in 28 count Lugana. This is for 2 very large projects that I'm going to start that complement each other, so I wanted them on the same fabric. That's for the Joan Elliott Indian Maiden and Indian Warrior that are in that book that I showed a few episodes ago. They also had, I think they had 2 bag vendors there, but both of mine came from one vendor. Lumi and Pie. So I got sloths, and I got this one, which is kind of Christmassy, but not blatantly Christmassy. I'm looking, because for some reason I feel like I bought a 3rd bag from her, but I don't see it. I wonder if I'm already using it somewhere. If so, hopefully you'll see it eventually. So those were my Annex purchases, and then like I said, I ended up going to the store 3 times. I don't know that I'll have this straight from visit to visit, but so I bought 2 pieces of fabric. This is Atomic Ranch Crocus in 32 count. This is a purple, but it's to me a bluish purple. I'm going to do the new Counting Puddles Big Santa one on this. I don't remember the exact name of it. And then I bought Fox and Rabbit Black Swan in 32 count linen. And this is for the Counting Puddles big Halloween one that just came out. I think they both came out at the expo this year. So I bought those 2 pieces of fabric, just fabric. I bought number 5 of the Fragments in Time for this year. She was out of number 6, but I'll get number 6 from her. And then 7 and 8 I think will be out soon. I bought the Addams Family from Plum Street, which I think is a nice little play on. It's John Adams, but it's kind of got a Halloween vibe for, you know, the Addams Family Halloween like. And I bought all the flosses that she had that go with that. When we get to my SAFF haul, you'll see that I actually probably rebought some of these flosses, but we'll see. Also, they have Brenda Gervais with Donnell and Thread has released the Coming to America, the Women of the Mayflower. That was an exclusive, so I bought that. I got the flosses that she had for that, and sorry, I'm trying to corral this stuff as I go. And she also had the called for Vintage Country Mocha for that, so I bought that. I think that was Friday's visit. Saturday's visit, I bought Ink Circles Clouds Over Verlande, and I went ahead and kitted it up in the Belsois silk. Pam had everything except she did not have the 3 skeins of Old Crow, which are all the black in there. So I decided she did have, however, 3 skeins of Plush Plum, which is a very dark purples with brown. And so I'm going to do everything that's charted in the black in that, which I think will look good with all this and add a little bit more jewel tone to it. And I bought a piece of 40 count Embellish to do that on. So, sorry I'm dropping stuff. It's all sliding everywhere. Too much stuff. Let me get those put in there so I don't lose them. And then I think that's a Saturday when I went back not Saturday, Sunday, when I went back on the way out of town, all I picked up was a couple more Mill Hill frames for the like buttons and beads sizes. I got the green and another blue one. Oh, I forgot to show this. Somebody that was doing gifts had made these little felted acorns. That was really cute. I don't know who made that. I think that's it for my haul for Stitch New England. Did forget one thing for my Stitch New England haul. I've mentioned before, I'm trying to accumulate a Gentle Art stash because I don't have a club for them, mainly because I was talking to Pam about this. She said she can't do a club because she can't guarantee when she'll get them. So I just picked up 5 more Gentle Arts flosses from her to add to my stash for that. So I got home from Stitch New England on Monday, whatever that the date was, 16th, something like that. I don't know, 17th, who knows, whatever that Monday was. Tuesday, did some laundry, repacked, and Wednesday, picked my friend Michelle up, and we headed up to the mountains of North Carolina to meet our friend Peggy for the weekend. It was the weekend of Southeastern Animal Fiber Fair, which SAFF, as we call it, excuse me, at the fairgrounds, the Western North Carolina Fairgrounds. Over the last couple of years, since we have expanded into other crafts that aren't necessarily yarn and fiber, we have not spent all 3 days there like we used to, but we did go, and we also went and did some other gallivanting around. So this is kind of a synopsis of all that. We stayed at an Airbnb in Weaverville. It was the same place that Michelle and I had stayed back in June, which we really enjoyed. So we had booked it again. We got up there late Wednesday afternoon and went out to dinner at the Twisted Laurel in Weaverville, which we really like, and basically just hung out. Thursday morning, we got up and we drove to Johnson City, Tennessee, to Cross Stitch and Crafts. Michelle and I had been there back in June, and I wanted to go again, and Peggy had never been. So I'll show you what this portion is largely just going to be showing you what I bought. So anyway, I'll show you that first. In no real particular order, I finally bought Plum Street Summer Moon. So when this came out, there was also a mini moon, and I really love this, but I thought, oh, I don't need another project with a giant house. It will take me forever. I'll never get around to doing it. So I bought mini moon, but I keep thinking about summer moon. So I finally bought it, and I bought the floss that they had to go with it. I picked up, if you've watched my regular Floss Tube episode 49, that should have been right before this, you'll see that I now have Lady of the Flag. I plan to do the blue conversion, so I picked up some petite treasure braid, excuse me, and a couple of beads that I will need to do that conversion. Still looking for a few more beads, but I got what they had. Picked up this little Mill Hill kit, Autumn Harvest. This is from 2012. I had never seen before, so it was really cute. Another Buttons and Beads, Midnight Owl. And another Buttons and Beads, Haunted Mansion. This one, I don't know if this one, I think this one's a couple years old. 2011. That's why I had not seen that one. And another Buttons and Beads, Haunted Tower. I think this one is from this year. No, 2022. So, and then I also got So this is a new Cottage Garden Cast a Spell that I picked up. I got Kathy Barrick's Haunted, which for some reason I didn't buy when it came out, like Expo or whatever, but I decided to have that, needed that. And I got the October issue of Cross Stitch, Just Cross Stitch. There's some cute patterns in here, but the main reason I bought it was I wanted this Mother Nature Halloween. So, and then two other patterns that I bought just because I thought they were neat. One is from Fireside Originals. It's called Steampunk Koala. I used to collect koala bears when I was a kid. So what I really liked about this is that it has that outline of Australia, and it has a button that's the Australian flag. So it's got all the buttons. He has a clothespin, I mean not a clothespin, a safety pin through his nose. I'm not sure I'll do that part. But anyway, I just thought he was cute, so I got that. And then I got this pattern called Turn, 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 which is really cool. So it has all 4 of those scenes, and if you can see from this picture, it's like this weird little shape that you can flip in and out and show which season you want. So it is stitched all on one long piece of fabric, so the chart is kind of interesting looking. And then you just like make this tube with filling and stitches in between to create the shapes. And they said one of their customers had made it, and it was really interesting looking. So I don't know when I'll do this, but I just thought it was really neat, so I went ahead and got that. So after we cross stitch and crafts, we went and ate at a little Italian place down from there called the Black Olive, I think it was. And that was pretty good. Then we got back in the car and decided we would go to Anabella's in Waynesville, which is about an hour and a half away because we had to come back the way we had come and then go another 30, 45 minutes. Michelle and I had gone to Anabella's in June when they were in like a storefront, and we're not overly impressed because everything was in baskets. She was very much set up for online sales, not like browsing. There was some stuff, set up, but a lot of it was in baskets. But they have since moved to a new location, which is definitely more set up store-like, where things are displayed and you can see things a little better. It is 3 stories, and there is stuff on all 3 stories, so it is not exactly accessible if you cannot do stairs. And at least one set of the stairs, in my opinion, were a little steep. So just keep that in mind if you decide to go, that accessibility might be a bit of an issue. But their new place is nice. It's a much better layout, in my opinion, than their previous layout. So did buy a few things there. Bought a new little pair of embroidery scissors with purple with black cats on them. Got another pattern by Stitches by Ethel, Evergreens and Peppermint, which my friend Peggy had picked up. And when I went hunting for that, I found that. And then I also saw Snowballs and Icicles. I really love that crow. You may remember I bought the Freedom one at Stitch New England. So, a new Bent Creek that I had not seen called Quaker Moon, which is really cute. I don't know. No, it's on 32 count. Okay, it almost looked like it was on that 20 count stuff, but I thought that was really cute. And then I picked up Prairie Schooler Cats, Bats, and Witches. This is one of those that I've looked at multiple times and never pulled the trigger on. Same thing with Prairie Schooler Halloweenies. As I've mentioned in previous videos, I hope to one day have a Halloween tree. And then they had a model of this, of one of these patterns, and this is why I bought it, but it has some others. So they had a model of this one. This is Halloween Is For, which is by Anabella's. They had a model of that gray one, and I really liked it, but it also has 6 other kind of smallish patterns to it. So, but the gray one is the main reason I bought it. So, did that. Oh, totally out of line and out of random. I got my fabric from Atomic Ranch from Stitch New England today, so I'm showing you that so I can put it up when I put all this other junk up. This is a 32 count linen in the Storm colorway. Very pretty gray neutral. It happens to be sitting here. I've shown it so I can put it away when I put the rest of the stuff away. And then also while we were at Anabella's, she told us that there was a new yarn store in Maggie Valley. So we went to that, and it's Maggie Valley Yarn. It was right at 4 o'clock, and we had looked up online that said they were, if you heard that buzzer, I'm sorry, this is the dryer. Said they were open till 5, so we figured we'd go, but we got there and they were actually having like a fall event that was from like 4 to 8. So, which also meant there was a discount on our yarn. So I bought 3 skeins there. I got, this is Hand Dyed Diva, which I think is local to them. This is a fingering weight. This, she said, was a colorway. They had a retreat recently, and the Changing Colors retreat, and this had been their custom colorway. So that's a fingering weight. I probably will hold that double and do something with it DK. They didn't have it in DK. And then I bought Polka Dot Sheep, a DK in the, Smoke Jumper colorway. And Yarn Baby Mediterranean is the colorway in DK. So trying to go outside of my blue purple wheelhouse a little bit on yarn, although, you know, this was definitely in the wheelhouse. But so after all that, we trying to think what if anything we had for dinner that night. I think that was the night that no, we did go eat dinner somewhere, and I can't remember where. Totally drawing a blank on what we did for dinner that night. But anyway, went back to the house and just hung out and, you know, crafted a little bit. Friday morning, we got up and we went and had brunch/lunch at Well Bred Bakery in Weaverville, and went to Five Little Monkeys, which was our entire plan for the day, pretty much. Oh, I forgot to, backtrack. I did also buy all this floss at Cross Stitch and Crafts, which is, if you watch the portion on Stitching on, you see that I bought the Addams Family, and I said I may have duplicated some of that floss. I remembered when I was at Cross Stitch and Crafts that Pam had not had all the floss for Addams Family, but I had not thought to make a list ahead of time of what I still needed. So I just bought everything that I pulled up the pattern online and the floss list online and bought everything that Cross Stitch and Crafts had for that pattern as well. So I need, some of these are going to be duplicates. I need to go through and see what I've got and what I still need, because I think there's 1 or 2 I still need. But anyway, back to Friday. We went to Well Bred Bakery, which is one of our favorite places. And right near there in Weaverville is Five Little Monkeys, which is a quilt store. So we went there, and I bought some fabric there. I bought this self-measuring tape measure, which I've looked at online before, but couldn't decide, so I went ahead and bought one. Basically, I think it'll be handy for like doing self-measurements, or for like measuring little kids where it's hard to get them to stay still. This is going to click. You pull it out, you know, you can wrap it loosely around you or whoever you're measuring, and that goes in there. And then once it's kind of loosely around, you hit the button and it tightens. And then pop that out, but it has stopped wherever the measurement is, so then you can easily look at your measurement. So bought that at Five Little Monkeys. I bought this pattern for stuffed Halloween bats. It has 3 sizes, small, medium, large. I will probably do medium. I bought this fabric to make about 3 of the medium. This is the fabric they had a model done in, and I just really liked it, so I bought that. Got some fabric for project bags. If you watch my regular episode video, you'll see I bought an Artisy pattern with a winter kitty. So I bought some fabric with cats on it. I bought a Henry Glass Halloween fabric that I just really liked. Whoops, that's upside down. And then I was trying to get, I bought some koala or Australian fabric, you know, because I've got that koala pattern. I also have a couple other koala patterns. And then I was trying to find a couple that were just kind of pretty. So the pretty teal, and then geometric. And then I also bought, I had started out making project bags with like 2 pattern fabrics. You know, one was the contrast above the zipper, and then was the lining. I've decided not to do that anymore because it's really kind of a waste of the pretty pattern fabric. So instead I'm going to do the outside all in the pattern fabric, and I'm just going to start doing my insides all neutrals. So I bought some yardage of a gray, a blue, and then just a white to do the insides of project bags with. And that was really all we did on Friday. We went to, after we went to Five Little Monkeys, we went back to the house, and we really just kind of hung out and crafted all day. Again, there was one night we didn't actually go out. We didn't actually eat dinner. We just snacked. And I think it was Friday night because we had brought desserts home from Wellbred. Sorry, can't think. Oh, Friday night, I think maybe it was Friday, I don't know. One night we went back downtown. We were going to go to Twisted Laurel again, either Thursday or Friday night. I can't remember which one. And there was like a 45-minute wait. Maybe that was Friday night. And so we ended up going across the street to the little grill across the street there. And I can't think of the name of it, but it was good. Anyway, Saturday, we got up and we wanted to go by Asheville Cotton Co., which is another fabric store, quilt store, and we went and ate breakfast at Early Bird, which is next door to Asheville. Well, Early Bird has a couple locations, but they have one next door to Asheville Cotton Co. So we went and had breakfast at Early Bird, and then went to Asheville Cotton Co., and I bought some fabric there. Again, looking mostly at project bag fabric, and so they have a good clearance section, and so I found some bolts that were all 70% off, so I got some fabric pretty cheap. So I got this for project bags, got some of this, sorry, I think I have that upside down, winter scene. I got some of this. I thought this would be good for my Dimensions Kit winter cabin. And then I bought this also on clearance. I got the end of bolt on this. It was just a cool, funky Halloween. And then regular yardage, I bought some of this, probably again for project bags. My friend Peggy was getting some of this, and I decided I had her cut me a yard too while she was at it. Just pretty. Oh, I got, this was actually from Five Little Monkeys. It got in the wrong stack. So Dr. Seuss fabric I have seen. I have tons of Grinch fabric, but I had never seen Dr. Seuss Halloween. So these are Dr. Seuss characters. Look, there's like a vampire Grinch. You got the fox, the Cat in the Hat, Horton. Anyway, of course, if it's Dr. Seuss, if there's a Grinch on it, I gotta have it, and particularly Halloween. That was actually from Five Little Monkeys. I just got it in the wrong stack. And then also at Asheville Cotton Co., I got this set of panels. There's 8 of them. There's 4 of them. And then the other 4, and I will turn those into project bags because they're not quite, one square is not quite as big as I like. Sorry, upside down. For a bag, I also bought just some black grunge, which I'll use to make the panels a little bit bigger and probably do the back of the bag. So I don't know. I'll decide if I'm going to do 8 bags or if I'm going to do 4 bags with a panel on each side. So that was all the fabric. And then we went to SAFF. And I did pretty well compared to previous years because primarily I was looking for sweater quantities for 2 sweaters. I've got a sweater on the needles. I frogged a lot of my sweaters, and I have a fingering weight sweater on the needles, but I want to get back in a regular habit of knitting more instead of just kind of knitting here or there. And so I pulled patterns, 2 Laura Ayler patterns for a DK sweater pullover and a worsted weight cardigan. And because I figured DK or worsted is going to be a quicker sweater and I may get my mojo back. So I bought, but before I get to those, I'll show you what else I bought. This was the Deep Dyed Yarn show colorway called Mountain Gems. And I got that in fingering because she didn't have any DK left. I've been trying not to buy so much fingering yarn just because it's pretty, because I have tons and tons of fingering yarn. And then I bought the Fiber Studios show colorway, which was called Dragonfly Wing. So, of course, I had to have it. I got the last skein they had in DK, because those are totally my colors. Ashley from Twist Fiber Studio has decided to totally get out of the yarn dyeing business. She and her husband own a construction company, and life has just gotten busy. So she was selling everything 30% off, and I was very good because I always buy from her, and I usually buy a ton. And she even had a thing like you got a free surprise skein if you spend $100, but which normally would have meant I would have spent $100 just to get that extra skein of yarn, but I didn't do it. I picked up 2 skeins. One is in Lexington fingering, the Frozen Rainbow colorway. I know I have a skein of this, but this is in Sparkle. So I bought that, and then I bought 1 skein of DK in Honeyberry. Because I thought that would make a pretty hat or something. And then I did buy 2 sweater quantities of yarn, which is where I spent most of my money. So I picked 2 Laura Ayler patterns that I really liked. And so the first one, I think it's called Stennis. And that's in DK. And I'll put a picture of what it will look like up here on the screen. And the yarn I got for that is Deep Dyed Yarns in her Steel base, which is a DK. Steel as in S-T-I-L-L. And the colorway is called Mirror. So definitely my color, one of my go-to colors. But I think light enough that the texture that's at the bottom and sleeves of that sweater will show. And then the other pattern I picked out was a cardigan by Laura Ayler, which I think is called North Winds. If I've got those names wrong, I'll put them on the screen different. And here's a picture of what that looks like. It has kind of a lacy cable on the front, but not an all-over cable, so it won't take you won't add a bunch of extra time because it's not cable all over. And I got from U2 Yarn Mellow Worsted. I don't know if Mellow is the name of the base or if Mellow's the name of the colorway, but this is what I got. It's kind of a purplish gray. And I also bought from them these buttons to use on it. I think they probably go that way. So that will be that cardigan. And I forgot one thing. So 2 purchases I made at SAFF that were not yarn related, that were more decorative items. I bought these 2 little pumpkins, which are fabric, and then these have sheep blocks to be like the leaves. And I got those from, I have a card somewhere, but I'm not sure where it went. Like Dream Santa something. I will figure it out and put the name on the screen. And then also, so SAFF this year ended up being the same weekend as Rhinebeck, which is a huge festival up in New York. And I think is going to be the same next year, which is unfortunate because a lot of the vendors that normally come to SAFF also do Rhinebeck, and they chose Rhinebeck, which I don't blame them for because Rhinebeck is a much bigger show, so they have a much bigger audience there. So as a result at SAFF this year, there were a lot of vendors that we're used to seeing that were not there. it seemed to me like there were fewer vendors, but I'm not sure if that's correct. I was also not trying not to spend as much, so it didn't bother me that much. The plus side of that is I think it allowed some newer vendors who had not been able to get into the SAFF show before to come. But anyway, so one of the things that I bought, which is not directly yarn related, is there was an artist there. I'm trying to get her name before, but it's artwork by Dream. Alicia Dream Garrett. She's from Tennessee. And I bought this, which is original artwork, called Harry's in the Paint Again. And this is Harry. Apparently, these locks are from the sheep that they own. It's actually named Harry. He is a Cotswold. And then they've dyed some of them. Anyway, so I just fell in love with Harry and had to have him. She had some really cute things. She had some Santa pictures where she'd used locks for Santa's beard. She had another one about this size, and I really debated between it and Harry, but I figured this can stay up year round in my craft room. The Santa would, you know, only be up a couple months a year, so I went with the crafty one. But she also had a really cute one with like ghosts, where the ghosts were made out of fleece. But anyway, so this is Harry. Harry's going to go up somewhere here in my craft room if I can find a space, and we'll see where he goes. But so after we left SAFF, Michelle went and saw the sheep while Peggy and I were shopping mostly. I didn't go over and see the sheep. We left SAFF about mid-afternoon, went over to Discount Shoes, which is a place we always like to check out. Peggy and I did not buy shoes, and Michelle did. I tried on quite a few pairs, but nothing really caught my eye, so I forego the shoes this time. Forwent the shoes, whatever. And so at that point, it was like, I don't know, 3:30, 4 o'clock, but we wanted to eat dinner at Apollo Flame, which was near there. And we hadn't really eaten lunch, though, so we'd had breakfast at like 9:30. So we decided we were hungry enough we'd go eat an early dinner. So we went and ate at Apollo Flame. I got lasagna, which is what I usually get when I go there. Apollo Flame is a Greek and Italian restaurant. So, but it's really good, so we enjoy it. Did that and stopped by Ingles and got gas, and Peggy bought her husband some more cereal. There's a cereal that Peggy's husband likes that they can't find at home, and Ingles in Western North Carolina carries it. So we went to 2 different Ingles, and the first Ingles, she bought them out with like the 7 boxes they had, and then we stopped at the second Ingles. She bought 10 more boxes. So he's set for at least 4 or 5 months or so, we guess. But anyway, so we went back to the house and hung out and relaxed, and, you know, started corralling did show and tell. We always do show and tell at night to show what we bought, and corralled our stuff and semi-packed up. And then Sunday morning we got up, and Peggy left a little earlier than Michelle and I because she had a longer drive. And then Michelle and I got up and piddled and went by Well Bread and got some cookies to go to bring home, and then hit the road. So got home yesterday afternoon around 3 o'clock or so, and did some laundry and recorded episode 49, which should be up before this one. And today I have been finishing some laundry. I've been to the grocery store, and I've been recording all my stuff from my travels. So tomorrow is back to work, to the real world. I have skimmed my work email, and looks like I'm going into lots of fun tomorrow. So hopefully I will get this edited and processed tonight, and then hopefully I will get everything uploaded in the next day or so. So today is Monday the 23rd. I'm hoping that by either tomorrow, Tuesday, or possibly Wednesday, all this will be uploaded. So I think that's it. If I met you at Queen City or Stitch New England, or ran into you at SAFF and I didn't mention you or didn't link you, I really apologize. I know I have put some pictures in. I think when I was talking about Stitch New England, I didn't mention some of the people that I did meet that I have pictures of. Dawn and Anna from DM's Crafty Vortex, I think. There was somebody else. I don't know. It's all a blur after about 2.5 weeks. I really had a great time. I fortunately stayed well, knock on wood. I'm not looking forward to going back to work, but I'm glad I did take a break from work. So I think that's about it. Hopefully I will be back again in 2 to 3 weeks with a regular episode. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave a comment below. Like, subscribe, do all the things. And I think that's it. I will see you next time. Bye, y'all.